Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. The Miami Dolphins seem far from finished tweaking their roster as they explore veteran options at key positions, particularly tight end. Reports surfaced on Monday that the Dolphins hosted former Seattle Seahawks and Denver Broncos tight end Noah Fant for a visit, signaling interest in bolstering their options. Fant, who was released by the Seahawks just days prior on July 20th, has quickly become a hot commodity in the free agent market. This visit marks Fant's third since his release, with prior talks held with the Cincinnati Bengals and New Orleans Saints. Miami's engagement with Fant arrived shortly after the team secured two free agent cornerbacks, Jack Jones and Mike Hilton, addressing their secondary concerns. The move suggests that Miami is actively trying to cover gaps across their roster, aiming for a balanced approach as training camp heats up. The potential addition of Fant, a tight end with proven receiving capabilities, could add much-needed depth to a position where the Dolphins currently lack a dependable playmaker. The Dolphins' tight end situation has been a significant question mark heading into the season. After trading away Jonnu Smith, who set franchise records for catches and yards by a tight end before heading to Pittsburgh, Miami's pass-catching ability at the position took a notable hit. Smith was a reliable target and a crucial component of Miami's offense, so replacing his production is no small task. The current tight end depth chart is a mix of blockers and inexperienced pass catchers. Julian Hill and Pharaoh Brown primarily bring blocking skills but lack Smith's receiving prowess. Meanwhile, the receiving tight ends Tanner Conner and Jalen Conyers have limited NFL experience. Conner has barely seen regular season action, and Conyers, an undrafted free agent, remains unproven. Against this backdrop, Fant's profile stands out. His 48 catches for 500 yards and a touchdown last season demonstrate he can fill the void left by Smith. Noah Fant offers an intriguing blend of athleticism and receiving ability that could mesh well with Miami's offensive scheme. At his best, Fant's speed and agility allow him to stretch the field, making him a threat in the passing game unlike any other on Miami's current roster. The Dolphins' offense, which leans on dynamic playmakers, needs a tight end who can consistently create mismatches against linebackers and safeties. Fant's skill set is arguably closer to Smith's than anyone else on the roster, suggesting a smooth transition if he signs with Miami. His production last year alone, 48 catches for 500 yards, nearly doubles the entire tight end group's combined output of 23 catches and 181 yards in 2024. That stark contrast highlights the urgency for Miami to add a reliable receiver at tight end, which Fant could immediately provide. This pursuit of Fant also reflects Miami's strategy to strengthen multiple weak spots after addressing the secondary with recent signings. Last week's acquisitions of Jack Jones and Mike Hilton show Miami's commitment to fixing its cornerback issues, but the front office is clearly not willing to neglect other areas in need of upgrades. The timing of Fant's visit is notable, given the Dolphins' cap situation, which had previously seemed a potential obstacle. With Minkah Fitzpatrick's contract restructuring freeing up roughly $11 million in cap space, the Dolphins now have more flexibility. Fitzpatrick's revised contract increases his salary to $17.5 million in 2025 and $15.6 million in 2026. But the immediate benefit is the significant cap relief it provides for the current year. This financial maneuvering makes signing multiple free agents, including Fant, more feasible, especially with training camp underway and roster spots becoming increasingly valuable. Fant's addition to the Dolphins roster would not only solve the tight end receiving dilemma, but also add a dynamic weapon to Miami's offense, which thrives on versatility and speed. The team's offensive coordinator will have plenty of options to exploit Fant's ability to line up in multiple spots, including as an inline tight end, a slot receiver, or even out wide. This versatility could open up creative play calling, forcing defenses to adjust on the fly and preventing them from keying in on other star players like Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Having a tight end who can create mismatches and contribute significantly in the passing game would be a tremendous boost for Miami's offensive arsenal. If Fant returns to form and stays healthy, he could quickly become one of the most valuable players on this Dolphins team. There are questions, of course, about Fant's recent injury history and his fit after missing parts of last season due to health issues. Miami is taking a calculated risk, betting that Fant's talent outweighs the potential downsides. His speed and athleticism remain intact, but durability will be a storyline to watch if the Dolphins do move forward with signing him. Given the team's need for a proven pass catcher at tight end, however, it's a risk that might be worth taking. The fact that Miami has shown interest after Fant's release, especially as other teams have also been in the mix, suggests the Dolphins believe he can still contribute at a high level. This potential acquisition is a clear signal that Miami is serious about competing this season and filling gaps left by off-season departures. Adding Fant also sends a message about the Dolphins' intent to build a well-rounded roster with veterans who can contribute immediately. While the team has some young talent, the tight end group's lack of experience and proven production has made it difficult for the offense to maintain consistency. Veteran leadership in the tight end room, which Fant could provide, is often undervalued but critical for success. His presence would help younger players like Connor and Conyers develop, while providing the coaching staff with a reliable option to lean on in key situations. Miami's front office is balancing youth and experience carefully, and Fant could be the bridge between those two forces within their tight end unit. The Dolphins' active approach to free agency and roster management is impressive as training. Camp progresses. Signing 2 cornerbacks and pursuing a veteran tight end indicates that the team is not waiting for the season to start to fix its weaknesses. Instead, Miami is using every available opportunity to improve and build a competitive squad. The front office has shown flexibility and strategic thinking, juggling cap space and player needs efficiently. Restructuring Fitzpatrick's contract to clear cap space for signings is a smart move that could pay dividends throughout the season. Miami's management is clearly aware that to compete in a tough AFC East division, they need to act decisively on all fronts, including at tight end. If the Dolphins do sign Fant, it could change the narrative surrounding their offense this year. The addition of a skilled athletic tight end who can catch passes and contribute after the catch would add a new dimension to Miami's passing game. It would also relieve some pressure off star wide receivers, allowing the offense to diversify its threats and become less predictable. For Fant, it represents a chance to revitalize his career with a team that desperately needs his skill set. For Miami, it's an opportunity to plug a glaring hole and perhaps elevate their offensive production to the next level. This potential signing could be one of the most impactful moves Miami makes this offseason, and it will be fascinating to see how it unfolds in the coming weeks. Ultimately, the Dolphins appear to be positioning themselves for a strong, balanced roster heading into the 2025 season. Their recent moves demonstrate a clear understanding of their weaknesses and a willingness to invest resources wisely. By targeting a veteran tight end like Noah Fant, they're addressing a critical need with a player who has the ability to contribute immediately. Miami's front office is making strategic decisions to not only improve this season, but also maintain flexibility moving forward. The coming weeks will be pivotal in determining how all these pieces fit together. If Fant signs, he could be a key factor in Miami's offensive success, giving the team a reliable and dynamic weapon at tight end and helping the Dolphins remain contenders in a competitive AFC. Still with us? Then show some love. Hit that like button and let us know in the comments, what's your take on the Fins this week? There's a whirlwind of speculation shaking the NFL community right now, and if the rumors hold even a shred of truth, the league could be on the verge of one of the most jaw-dropping moves in recent years. Travis Kelce, the legendary tight and known for his unmatched chemistry with Patrick Mahomes and his dominant tenure with the Kansas City Chiefs, is reportedly heading to South Beach. That's right. Whispers around league insiders and certain well-placed sources suggest that Kelce has inked a deal with the Miami Dolphins. While there hasn't been any official confirmation yet, the buzz is getting louder by the hour. For Dolphins fans, the very thought of adding a player of Kelce's caliber to an already electric offense is enough to start dreaming about Super Bowl confetti raining down over Hard Rock Stadium. And for the Chiefs' kingdom, this one's going to sting deeply. If it's true, it marks the end of an unforgettable era. Kelce leaving the Chiefs feels almost surreal. This is a player who defined not just a position, but an entire offensive philosophy in Kansas City. For a decade, he was the security blanket, the playmaker, the joker in the deck for Mahomes and Andy Reid. To imagine him wearing aqua and orange instead of that familiar red and gold is a mental adjustment many fans simply aren't ready to or make. But sometimes the NFL is a cold business, and legacies, no matter how legendary, are subject to the tides of change. Miami, it seems, is going all in, perhaps sensing a closing window with Tua Tagovailoa still on a manageable contract and Tyreek Hill still near his prime. The thought of reuniting Hill and Kelce, albeit in a new setting, adds a layer of intrigue that has fans and analysts buzzing alike. Could this be the next super team forming in Florida, or just a brilliant but fleeting power play? The Dolphins, to their credit, have been bold in their pursuit of offensive firepower in recent seasons. From the blockbuster trade for Tyreek Hill to the development of one of the most innovative offensive schemes under Mike McDaniel, Miami has not shied away from making splashy moves. But this one, if confirmed, would be the crown jewel. Travis Kelce is not just a tight end. He's a generational talent, arguably the greatest to ever play his position. Adding him to an offense already stacked with speedsters like Hill and Jalen Waddle would be nothing short of terrifying for opposing defenses. It also sends a clear message to the AFC. The Dolphins are done playing second fiddle. They're ready to take the mantle. And with Kelce potentially in the fold, they might just have the firepower to challenge anyone, even Mahomes and the mighty Chiefs, in a deep playoff run. Now, let's talk fit, because if this is more than just rumor, if Kelce is really Miami-bound, how exactly would he mesh with his Dolphins offense? On the surface, it seems like a dream pairing. McDaniel's scheme thrives on motion, timing, and mismatches. All areas where Kelce excels. He's not a traditional tight end who stays glued to the line. He moves like a big receiver, finds soft spots in zone coverage, and breaks tackles after the catch like a running back. Plug him into a system already stretching defenses vertically with Hill and Waddle, and suddenly you've got a nightmare matchup on every down. Defensive coordinators would be left scratching their heads trying to decide whom to double. Take away Hill deep, and you've left the middle wide open for Kelce. Key on Kelce, and Waddle turns a slant into a 70-yard sprint. It's a pick-your-poison scenario that could revolutionize the AFC East. But let's not forget the human side of all this. Travis Kelce isn't just a football machine. He's a fiercely loyal teammate, a guy who's worn his heart on his sleeve every Sunday for the last 11 seasons in Kansas City. His bond with Patrick Mahomes is one of the most storied in the league. They weren't just teammates. They were practically brothers, sharing in triumphs, heartbreaks, and 2 glorious Super Bowl victories. Walking away from that kind of legacy isn't easy. If the Dolphins' move is real, then there had to be something powerful behind it. Was it a contract dispute, a desire for a new challenge, maybe even a lifestyle change? After all, Miami offers more than just sunshine. It's a city of culture, flair, and an explosive football vibe that's quickly becoming contagious. Whatever the reason, the decision wouldn't have been made lightly. This is a seismic shift, both emotionally and competitively. There's also the looming question of age. Kelce's no spring chicken. At 35, he's clearly on the back nine of his career, even if he continues to perform at an elite level. Some skeptics will inevitably wonder if this move is a little too late to matter, but those who followed Kelce closely know better. He's adapted his game with time, becoming more cerebral, more efficient, less reliant on raw athleticism, and more on feel and technique. His durability has been remarkable, and his playoff performances have only elevated with pressure. Miami isn't asking him to carry the load like he once did in KC, just to be a crucial piece in a high-octane puzzle. And for a player with his savvy and leadership, this could be the perfect Twilight scenario. A chance to write one final, Glorious chapter in a new city surrounded by speed, creativity, and a hunger for greatness that mirrors his own. Meanwhile, in Kansas City, the mood is understandably somber. No matter how successful a franchise is, losing a player like Kelsey leaves a void that's not easily filled. Andy Reid is a mastermind. Mahomes is the best in the business. But Kelsey was their constant, the glue that made so many improvisations possible. Replacing him isn't just about finding another tight end. It's about reimagining the offense, adjusting the timing, the chemistry, the comfort zone. And that doesn't happen overnight. It also raises questions about the direction the Chiefs are heading. Are they trying to get younger, save cap space, make room for a new offensive identity? Fans may trust the organization, but they'll still be heartbroken. Because love him or hate him, Kelsey was the soul of this team. And watching him don a different uniform will be nothing short of gut-wrenching for a fan base that watched him become a legend. Across social media, the reactions have been explosive. From memes showing Kelsey in Dolphins gear to speculative trade packages and fantasy football projections going haywire, this rumor has gripped the NFL community in a chokehold. Analysts are scrambling to confirm details. Insiders are dropping. Cryptic tweets and fans, both in Miami and Kansas City, are riding a roller coaster of emotions. Dolphin supporters are dreaming big, already penciling in Kelsey for red zone touchdowns and playoff heroics. Chiefs fans, on the other hand, are in mourning mode, holding on to hope that the reports are exaggerated. Some even believe it could be a strategic leak, a ploy to force Kansas City's hand in renegotiations. But as the saying goes in this league, where there's smoke, there's usually fire. And right now, there's a 5-alarm blaze raging through the rumor mill. Whether it's true or not, the conversation has already shifted, and the implications are massive. Let's entertain the possibilities. If Travis Kelsey truly lands in Miami, how does that shake up the power dynamics in the AFC? For starters, the balance of power would tilt dramatically. The Dolphins would instantly become one of the most feared offenses in football. Not just because of talent, but because of experience. Kelsey brings not just skill, but swagger, confidence, and championship pedigree. He knows how to win, how to lead, how to rise when the moment demands. Combine that with a coach like McDaniel, who isn't afraid to color outside the lines. And suddenly Miami has an identity that's both potent and unpredictable. The Bills, the Jets, the Patriots, all would have to recalibrate. And the Chiefs? They'd become vulnerable in ways they haven't been in years. This move wouldn't just change two teams. It could shift the entire AFC landscape. And that's why the buzz refuses to die down. As the hours pass and more insider nuggets drip out, one thing becomes increasingly clear. Something big is brewing. Whether it's a done deal or an elaborate smokescreen remains to be seen. But the very idea of Travis Kelsey catching passes in a Dolphins uniform has already ignited imaginations across the football world. It's the kind of move that transcends contracts and schemes. It's emotional, symbolic, and potentially transformative. If confirmed, it might just be the boldest power play of the offseason. If it turns out to be just a rumor, well, it still serves as a glimpse into a league where loyalty is fragile and change can come faster than a Mahomes scramble. Either way, the message is clear. The NFL offseason is alive and kicking, and no one, not even the most iconic veterans, is off limits. Keep your eyes open. The next headline might just rewrite history. That's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow Dolphins fan. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up.